Okay, greetings. We are now going to explain this exportation of Camu Camu powder supplements. This is the table of contents of the topics that we're going to discuss about this project.
Okay, first, in the product description, the camu camu is a small fruit, reddish in color and slightly acidic in taste. The use of this fruit is very widespread thanks mainly to his high levels of vitamin C. This superfood can achieve a concentration of vitamins 30 times higher to compared to other fruits such as orange or lemons. The product that we choose to export is a concentrated organic camu camu powder made from the deshydrated skim and pulp, packaged in a plastic reusable airlight bags of 100 grams that will perceive the powder. This product can be mixed directly as an ingredient in yogurt, smoothies, and dairy products. And the main characters of these are that it's an antioxidant, strengthens the immune and nervous system, help keeps eyes and skin healthy, and finally, the product acquisition cost is going to be $5.41 per package.
The market analysis and validation of the project. Okay, through a ranking of factors, the United States was selected as a destination country. Since it's the country that most imports camu camu powder, with a FOB value 2019 $1,643,061.00. In addition, through the same database SUNAT, it was found that the Peruvian company that exports the most is Natural Peru Sociedad Anónima Cerrada, with a participation of 17.27%. Camu powder in the United States. We choose the export of camu camu to the United States for the following points. The first, camu camu for being a fruit with a high potential for vitamin C and power index because it makes it a more versatile. Second, camu camu brings to the Peruvian superfoods of the from Peru brands. The next country of destination, United States, as it's the main country to which Peruvian company exports, according to SUNAT 2020. With the current situation, all people are more concerned about their health. Finally, they give more preference to health products.
Okay, now we are going to review the profitability, cost, and expenses analysis. First, we need to know that all of these costs are in FOB price because that is the Incoterm that we are going to use. First, we have the acquisition cost. We are going to buy 20,064 units, giving a total cost of $108,000 approximately. Then we have the packaging, including the boxes, also the packing and palletization, the pallets with thermal treatment, certificates, including certificate of origin, sanitary certificates, and then we need to achieve a utility of 30%. Giving us the utility, we'll have $32,657 US dollars. For the export price, we will have $141,000 approximately. And then we add this port transport, customs agents, port charges, mobility inside the port, loading and storage of APM terminals, and giving us the FOB price of $142, giving us unitary price of the product of 7.10 US dollars. Now for the logistic process, we are just going to review the analysis, qualitative analysis, because in the previous chart we mentioned all the costs. Reminder that we are just using FOB expenses. Well, first we have to pack and palletize all the products in 140 boxes with 176 camu camu powder bags, and that weighs 22 kilos per box, 6 unitized loads of 2,400 kilos in total. And this is the container of 20 feet, and that will be how we will manage how we will organize the products inside the container. Second, the transport to the terminal. We decided to use APM terminals because we have all of those costs. And then the delivery of documents, commercial invoice, sanitary certificate, certificate of origin, among others. Also the payment of the customs agent, because we don't want any problem with customs in Peru. And handling in local ports at APM terminals, load that includes loading, stowage inside a ship. And finally, the receipt of the documents for the letter of credit that we are going to apply.
Of payment, we compare the letter of credit and the collection of documents. For the letter of credit, the first point is the term of the LC are specific and detailed. The warranty payment from importers owns it show that the terms have been met. If requested by the third, bank export confirms the LC for a fee, adding your warranty to bank import's warranty. The next is should the temporary term a bank acceptance is occurred. The bank like VA's banker acceptance, because unlike the working capital loans, they don't require the use of bank's funds. They can be sold on the open market. That do the administration borders they create for banks, the commission are higher. So unlike it in the collection of documents, the first point is don't obligate the importer to pay for the goods before shipment and offer limited resource in the event of non-payment. If doesn't, warranty payment for the imported bank. And finally, a bank commission lower than the LC. Okay, the second, please. So with the previously information, we select the LC export rates. Okay. Because it will avoid any export risk and because it's the first time we will export Camu Camu power. So what you can see is the cost of interbank for the principal main commissions for LC exports. The principal is SWIFT management fee with a $25.00. The shipping management commission, the $10.00. Execution of payment commission, 0.50%. $150.00 minimum. And finally, extension commission outside initial period is 0.25%, $60.00 minimum. Well, you can see a required documentation. The principal is a commercial invoice. In this goods description as in LC, shipping terms. The second is a transport document with an endorsed bill of lading. And the final is insurance police shipping dates with a certificate of origin and packing list. And this picture is an example of commercial invoice, the bill of lading, and the interbank for the process of LC. Thank you.
Okay. For the loan request to finance the project, we are going to use a long-term financing of 60 months through a loan with an annual fixed rate of 8.22%, where the loan value is 395,421.62 soles according to our FOB price, with monthly payments of 8,061.98 soles, and a total payment of 483,719.09 soles at the end of these 60 months. Next, please. Okay, so here are the 60 payments. For our amortization schedule, for our calculation, we are using the same data as the bank, such as financing term in months, monthly payment, effective annual interest rate, and total amortization. For our amortization schedule, it's important to know that we are not considering the payment of the endorsed policy evaluation as the BCP bank, which is 18 soles. And we manually convert the interest annual rate in a monthly rate from 8.22% to 0.66% specifically. So the total payment after the 60 months is 479,409 soles, and it's a little bit different than the bank total payment as I shown in the image. The fee not divided into exact payments of 8,062 the 60 months. Instead, we only pay that amount 59 months, and the last one will be a single payment of 3,785 soles, since the amortization quote came out inaccurate, while the bank calculation is accurate or exact. Next, please. Well, for the 5Cs, we have first the capacity. Means that if we are able to pay the loan or not. As I mentioned, the final amount to be paid is 483,790.09, and a total of 511,200 will be received from the buyer, including 30% of profit from the sale. The character, this involves being trustworthy, reliable, and stable. And for this, the company credit history and references will be reviewed. The credit bureau, Sentinel, Infocorp, among others, that tells everything the company done in the final system. And collateral gives the lender the assurance that if the borrower defaults, the lender can respond as the collateral. So in the case of the loan cannot be paid, assets and shares of the company itself can be offered instead. And in capital, in the net worth, is the net worth. And for the time being, only the purchased goods and the value of the company are considered as equity. And in conditions, finally, is how the borrower intends to use the money. For this, the project will be presented to the bank, including costs, expenses, and the final sale price to the client. Next, please.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the other financial instruments. First, in the project, we are considering the use of a long-term loan to begin the operations for the project. Nevertheless, if we talk about financial instruments, there are some other options that the project can use if it is necessary. First, we have the case of the bonds. The bonds, as we know, kind of loan that comes from an investor. This will give us another option to find capital to start or increase the operations of the project. Second, the forwards and futures. As we know, the market flows around the time, and if we create a long-term relationship with some other customers, it will be good to use a future contract to guarantee profits in case the price of the product falls in the future. Third, the letters of credit can be a good option at the moment of making operations in a mid-term period, both in the sale of our product, in the purchase of raw materials. The letter of credit can be a viable option due to the high quantities that will be transported, guaranteeing greater security in this type of transaction. Finally, the checks. With the use of checks, it will be a good way to receive or pay money. Having this alternative besides cash will attract more customers for giving more options of payments. Okay. Now, if we question if the project is sustainable, we can say that it is. Analyzing the demand, the cost of production and logistics, and the loan that is needed to start project, it can be said that that is a project with a lot of potential nowadays and in the future. The consumption in the United States is one of the advantages that the project has. Also, considering that the cost of logistics is cheaper than the cost of production, it will not change much the price of the product. in the destination country. Nevertheless, the high price of the product will be an obstacle at the moment of entry to the US market. Also, considering the loan that is needed to operate the project, it will be recommended to pay the debt as soon as possible, even if it is agreed to be paid in a 60-month period.
Okay, in this case, the question number 5 was complicated to process since the interbank bank requests a lot of data that was difficult to provide for the letter of credit request.
And also, we consider that the point 6 has also been laborious to make too, since we have to draw up our amortization schedule and compare it with the bank and find out why they vary from each other. Next, please.
Okay, for the first conclusion, we conclude that some costs of this project are very low because of the dimensions and also for the weight of the product. And also the product itself is very cheap in the national market. So we can provide this to another country to get better rewards.
And other conclusion is that at the end of the 60 months of payment of the request loan, the 483 soles will have been paid. This leaves us with a net profit of 27,481 due to the 30% of profit from the sale. This means that the company is able to pay the loan.
Okay, the best means of payment for a first-time exporting is the letter of credit. It's either reduce the risk that the importer will not pay that degree amounts.
And as a final conclusion, we can say that there are many financial instruments that can be used in the project that could help with the operations that are needed.
For our first recommendation, we recommend that we have to take advantage of this extra space in the container because it wasn't fully loaded, just to reduce cost and also to get more products to sell.
And another recommendation is that they make the loan requirement to BCP Bank, since the sale to be made is sufficiently solvent to meet the loan payment.
Okay, another, take advantage of the current situation to continue exporting camu camu, since in addition to being a highly nutritious fruits, it helps those with produce in the economically more employment for them.
And our final recommendation is that if the project starts to present some mistakes with the use of the primary financial instruments, it will be good to give chances to other options. Thanks.
Thank you.